continue, shall we? Alright. Nail collapsed. We're back in court. I'm so gone. Is everyone settled? The defense has continued to prepare to continue the trial. And the prosecution? I'll be taking over for Prosecutor Nail. That was his condition. He was taken to a local hospital. He'll live, but he's in a coma. I think. A poisoning here in this courtroom. What is that noise? Has been an attempt to interfere with the trial? Perhaps, but we still have an obligation to the court. The trial will continue. We'll discuss the poisoning at a later time. Actually, hold on a second. I'm gonna change the voice volume effects down just a little bit. That's voice movie. 35, that's right. I'll just turn it back down a little bit. There, and then I'll put the music back up just a tiny bit. There we go. Yeah, I played the sequel. I enjoyed the sequel. I said, you know what? I like this so much, I need to play the first. So the dev gifted me a copy of the first game. And then, actually, I'll show you real quick. Okay, I'll show you. I'll just show you. I start the game, and since it's me playing... Oh, hey, HawkZombie, don't worry. Chibi Cross doesn't exist yet, so you can save scum as much as you want. Yes! Yeah, it's like, holy fuck. Amazing. Whoops. Live. He's in a coma. Poison here in this courtroom. Yeah, I lost it when I saw that. Like, holy fuck. The trial will continue. We will discuss the poisoning at a later time. The dosage wasn't lethal, so Nail will be alright. There's still the issue of Gardner's crime. Whoever poisoned my mentor was probably trying to interfere. Meaning, they want Gardner to get an acquittal. I must not let him get away with this. Are you sure you can handle the prosecution by yourself? I've taken the bar exam, Your Honor, and I've dealt with a few trials in the past. Very well. Now, I believe we're about to pass a verdict. Your Honor, there's still a few things we haven't discussed. It's over, Cross. I already won. It isn't about winning, Ms. Flocking. It's about fucking. If we leave even the smallest piece of evidence without examination, we have failed in our obligation to a fair trial. Hey, how you doing, Matt? Now, don't try to play the hero. If you're wrong, an innocent man could go to jail. This is, oh god. Okay, so according to this, pasta is not bad for them, but it's not exactly healthy, and can basically give them gas. Okay, I'm not going to object to this because that's a truth. Yeah, I'm innocent. I have no idea. I assume they have a butthole. They have faith in Nail's deduction. He must have figured something out, or else he wouldn't have had to continued this trial. Every problem has a solution. I will find the truth. The prosecution's position remains unchanged. As a matter of fact, there are several pieces of evidence that have not been discussed. Oh god. Quiz, They had to be burdened with farts! I believe examining them will further the prosecution's case. This is rich. Well, Prosecutor Cross, what did we miss? Oh fuck, what did we miss? Oh, this! There were 2 shots fired at the scene. Remind the court, Miss Flocking. Where exactly did they land? One of the shots hit the victim, and the other one hit the ceiling of the parking garage. I did that all on my own with no help. I must have missed that during my investigation. Which begs the question, why was there a bullet hole in the ceiling? Why indeed. My hair It's doing something weird, but I kind of dig it. I wish, like, whenever my hair does weird shit, I wish I could make it do it normally, but it just never will. Oh, now it's not doing it anymore. I flew too close to the sun. It's giving Edward Cullen. Order. Could the culprit have misfired? There's no objection. I'm not going to object that. Perhaps, but it's hard to say either way. Well, what does the defense have to say? I think the existence of the second bullet hole. It fits fine with the current theory. I can't prove that the second shot wasn't just an accident. I need to think. There must be a way out of this. Very well, Your Honor, just a moment of your time, please. This had better be good. The court grows weary of your interruptions. If we assume the defendant was involved, he must have left some trace, some way to contact a third party. Did the defendant have a cell phone in his possession when he was arrested? No phones are found on his personage. The only thing we found was the key to his car. Yeah, I left my phone in my car by mistake. Could you add those keys to the public record? If it stops the prosecution from crying, then yes. Freebie! Okay, so Gardner's keys. Big button looks like it opens the garage door or something. Oh! Okay, I know what happened. I know he's lying about something, but I don't have anything to go on. I need him to slip up. The prosecution would like the defendant to testify. The prosecution is needlessly drawing out this trial. It does appear that way. What information is to be gained by taking this course of action? I need to hear something that we haven't discussed yet. Also, I should be careful about my choices from now on. The judge is growing tired, and the court is leaning towards flocking. If I make a mistake, I could be penalized. Oh, now we're getting that. Time to choose carefully. What can we learn from Gardner? The moment of the murder. We haven't heard about the moment of the crime. From the point of view of the defendant. That's right! We conclude that he could have missed the culprit. But he never gave us the full story. Furthermore, we haven't heard what happened when he left the office. I'm gonna do it, no saves! I'm gonna fuck save scum. I know, right, Brittle? That's insane. It would be kind of fun, though. Oh, no. Very well. Is the defense prepared to have the defendant testify? This is a waste of time, but I suppose it will do no harm. Raw dogging life! I look forward to the prosecution's demise. Defendant, please take the stand. A little bit, Kia, a little bit. Yeah, testifying! I'll show everyone! I wouldn't hurt a fly. It's time to hit him hard and prove his guilt. I must not fail. Prosecutor Nail is counting on me. Mr. Gardner, please testify about the time during and after the murder. What happened when you left Miss Flower's office? Let's see. Oh, yeah! I told her I'd go make sure Yard was all right. How long did it take to get there? Let's see. By the time I went downstairs... Yeah, it took 20 minutes to get to the 5th floor. And you already knew the police would arrive shortly? Yeah, although I was a bit surprised. They got there quicker than I expected. And then they totally arrested me on the spot. Something doesn't seem right. He thought the police would arrive 40 minutes later. Because Miss Flowers had told him after she called the police. Yeah, how's that? But why was he so surprised? I can't call him out on it just yet. What did you see at the parking garage? Well, let's see. I saw Yard's body. I was in a bit in shock. Yeah. And then you rolled up your car windows? Yeah, that's right. Don't even think about asking why he did such a thing. Looks like I can't shake him on this line of questioning. What did you witness during the moment of the crime? I saw a flash of light. Yeah. And then Yard fell over. Did you see the second shot? Oh, yeah! Actually, Yard didn't fall over immediately. Second shot rang out, and then he fell down. So the shots were fired before Yard fell over. But which one hit the victim? Phoenix? Do you know if the victim was hit by the first shot? Yeah! At the time, I couldn't tell. But thinking about it now, he was definitely hit by the first shot. Impossible. No, yeah, actually possible, because the second shot is the one that we... I know what happened, but I just have to find a way to get there. Witness, explain yourself. Not even the police know which shot was fired first. So how could the defendant have withheld this information? Yeah, how could I? Oh, well, it's just a matter of reasoning. I know for a fact that the second shot was an accident. Gardner, I suggest you stop speaking at once. Your Honor, the defendant knows more than he's letting on. Indeed. If we assume he's connected to the crime, he must know more about it than the police. Which means, if I can consider what he says is true, he should lead to new conclusions in the evidence. It was an accident. What changed the second shot was an accident. I want to say the tripod because that I want to say I'm gonna say tripod. If the second shot was an accident, the tripod is now relevant. Why? God damn it, I don't know. Maybe I should find something else. Ah! The second shot is an accident. The shooter. Yeah. It's an accident. There must be some reason why the shooter made a mistake. Haven't we been over this? It's not decisive enough. See, the gun was on the tripod! That's the thing! Ah! Yeah, there's no way the shooter was even there in the first place. What? Did I tell you before? My tripod was set up next to my car. You mean your tripod was a spot 007? I don't know. I watched too many 80s crime shows. It makes sense to me. Yeah, it was right there. And when I arrived at 2:20 a.m., it was still standing there. What does this mean? The shooter was proven to be in spot 007 or beyond. The Garner's tripod was in the way. That's it. What if the shooter... Yeah, I'm innocent, see? Your Honor, I wish to cross-examine the defendant. On what topic? About when the defendant was arrested. Cross-examination is another aspect of testimonies. When I ask for a cross-examination, I must listen carefully. To prove the court that this witness statements don't add up. The goal is to find conflicting statements in the testimony. When I see something out of place, I should object. I do this by presenting evidence that proves the contradiction. All I have to do is navigate the conflicting statement. Then I just open the case files and present the evidence that proves the contradiction. Navigate. Does the defense have any objections? No. The prosecution is ready to begin, Your Honor. Flocking seems hesitant. I must corner her argument with logic. Mr. Gardner, please testify about your arrest. Yeah! Nope, I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah! Is it really a crime to place a standing tripod near my car? All I did was raise the windows. Other than that, I didn't touch the crime scene. Yeah! They had no grounds to arrest me. All I did was raise windows? Yeah, right. Time to go back over his testimony and point out the contradiction. Okay, so... I gotta see, what does it say about the... Or it was knocked over at the scene. I wish I had a picture of the whole actual case, like the lot again. Ah! I can figure this out. I can figure this out. Bro, yeah! I sent tripod near my car. Look at a screen shit. I'll just raise the windows. Okay, well, we think he's the killer. But he was across the street when it happened, but we think he's involved somehow. All I did was raise the windows. I think that's the one that I need to contradict, but I don't know about what? Actually, wait a minute. But the tripod was knocked over, so maybe this is where I object. On its side. There we go. Witness, you claim that you didn't touch the scene of the crime. But according to your earlier testimony, the tripod was still standing. Fuck yeah! Oh! I'm smarter than the dev! During the prosecution's investigation, the tripod had already been found on its side. I'm sorry. Explain yourself at once, witness. I also knocked over the tripod before they arrived. Yeah. So me, yeah, the joke was that every time he or Flocking slam the desk, they're breaking a new bone in their hand. And so, the law attacks without fear. Well done, Mr. Cross. Thank you, Counselor. Now, there's something off about that tripod. Mr. Gardner, please tell the court why your tripod was present. We also need to hear about all the items in your possession, up to and during your arrest. Good call, Your Honor. It did seem strange that the only thing we found was a set of keys. Let's hope I can pin something on him. That tripod is nothing special. I was using it to take pictures. And is it a crime to carry around keys? Yeah? Also, the keyring is my car and key and house key. Those are the only things I had with me at the time. What about that button? What about that button, bitch? More convincing your case. So, you didn't even have a phone or a wallet? I left both those in my car. What kind of person forgets their phone? Yeah, all I had is my car key and house key. What about that fucking button, bitch? Yeah, that's all I had. The police already investigated his phone and wallet. According to his phone records, no suspicious calls were made. There's not much to go on here. I should focus on what little I do have. Okay. I think that's gonna be it. Yep. Well, what's that big ass button, bitch? It appears you left something out in your testimony. Yeah, I did? Will the court please take a look at this key? I think that's what I think too. So too. The witness testified that the only thing present in his house is his house key and the key to his car. But there's something else here that he hasn't told us about. You're right. What is that button? At first I thought it was an electronic key for his car, but there are already two keys here. Furthermore, the defendant's car doesn't even have an electronic lock. Exactly. Where's the prosecution headed with this? Looking back at the footage from Miss Flower's office, Gardner had his hands in his pockets the whole time. Yeah, this is the one that came out of 2018, and the sequel came out just a couple of days ago, and the dev, Raw Productions, Matt, was kind enough to give me both copies. So I was so impressed with the second one that we started playing the first one, and I'm really super impressed with it as well. Perhaps he was holding it for a reason. Your Honor, I believe this keyring is vital evidence in this case. You can't be serious. 1 in 100. I am. It's a bit of a long shot, but... Press the mysterious button on the keyring, that's gotta be it. I think the next course of action is to figure out what this button is. I'm curious as well. Please proceed. I'm going to press the button in question. What? Can't we just ask the witness? I have reason to believe Gardner is lying, Your Honor. Hold up. If the defense has an objection, the court will acknowledge it. I guess not. What was that? It was behind me? This tripod made a noise when I pressed the button on the keyring. So the tripod is linked to this mysterious button. Gardner had this keyring on him when he was in the office. And he had a clear view of the crime scene. He could also control his tripod with the button at any time. If I assume he's already connected to the murder, then... Your Honor, there's more to this tripod than meets the eye. I knew it too. There is? I need to look through every piece of evidence I've had so far. This is where I could turn the case around. Till now, we assumed it was here for a different purpose. It's a gun pod! But in reality, there were no cameras found at the scene. Yet this tripod was clearly here for a reason. There can only be one scenario in which Gardner is guilty. Would the court take another look at this tripod? What about it? The device responded with a sound when I pressed this button. And the defendant had access to pressing this button at the moment of the murder. So you're saying the defendant pressed this button during the crime? That's right. And that's because this tripod is a part of the murder weapon. I've never been so hot. Fucking, she wants him so bad. Ah! Please elaborate. Of course, I will demonstrate how this tripod was used to commit murder. I think Gardner wants him to somehow. Demonstration. This is how the tripod was set up in the parking garage. But something's missing. The gun. This pistol was attached to the tripod. What? Ah, there it is! What the? As I expected, a perfect fit. It's unheard of. Is this safe? Not to worry, Your Honor. The gun was empty before the trial. You're saying the pistol was attached to the tripod? Kill him! That's correct. Now watch what happens when I press the button. Button made the tripod pull the trigger! Exactly. I think the court can see the next logical conclusion. I know, right, Brittle? You mean to say the defendant fired the weapon remotely? Yes, that is the prosecution's current stance. Wait, you can't prove that the defendant pressed that button. That's an easy one. All we have to do is check this button for fingerprints. The one that you've been pressing constantly, Conrad, without gloves, Conrad. Mr. Cross. You dumb fuck. That proved the defendant touched this button. Have this button analyzed immediately. Let's slow down a bit here. By your theory, the defendant wasn't wearing gloves, which is why you're asking you to check the button for fingerprints. Yet the gun was found under the defendant's car. And there were no fingerprints found on the pistol. You mean to say Gardner would have tried to hide the weapon? Yes, and he couldn't do that without touching it. She's right. How could he have hid the weapon without touching it? I have no choice. I need to bluff my way through this. I will demonstrate to the court how it's possible to hide the weapon without touching it. What? Haha! Tip the tripod over. He was able to disassemble this contraption and hide the weapon, because this tripod disassembled itself. I think we now have a sufficient idea of what really occurred. I see. Please explain yourself clearly from the beginning. First, the defendant planned his attack on the victim in advance. He was able to set this contraption up in a secluded area, where he had access to gloves. Therefore, no fingerprints were left. Then he pulled up to spot 006 before 2 a.m. He set up the tripod at spot 007, aimed at the victim's car. He also made sure the windows were down. Why did he do that? Because making the shot from behind his car would conceal the tripod. This ensures the victim wouldn't see the device as he entered his car. I see. Please continue. Brittle. Oh. Then he went across the street to the office building. There he had a clear view of the crime scene and the victim. All he had to do was press the button at 2 a.m. to murder Mr. Yard. But there were 2 shots fired, and one of them was on the ceiling. Exactly. And there's a secondary effect to the weapon firing. At 2 a.m., Gardner pressed the button, causing this device to fire. But the force of the gunshot caused the tripod to tip over! As it was tipping, the gun fired again. Why would it do that? Because the defendant wasn't sure if the shot was successful. Remember, Gardner testified that the second shot occurred before the victim fell over, but he was certain the first shot hit. But as the second shot rang out, the tripod was in the middle of falling. The angle of its tilt caused the bolt to hit the ceiling. It's so silly but interesting, Phoenix. Now, think about what would happen when the tripod falls over. The gun would detach from the tripod. At this point, the victim had fallen over. Meanwhile, Miss Flowers called the police and told the defendant that they won't arrive for 40 minutes. Thinking he had plenty of time, Gardner moved to the crime scene. But he saw the device was in pieces and knew he couldn't leave fingerprints. So he simply kicked the gun under his car. The prosecution's demonstration is complete. Fuck yeah! First try, bitches! No, this can't be. I'm in love. All he could do was roll up his windows and pretend that the killer was at spot 05. But in reality, it was all Gardner's doing. No, but yes. Little did he realize the police would arrive early. And that one mistake will be his downfall. The prosecution rests. Order. It's a very bold claim. The prosecution has no proof. Sir, the results are back, sir. The fingerprint analysis. Well, are the defendant's fingerprints on the button? They are, sir. Clear signs of pressing this button. This is the decisive evidence that proves the prosecution's claim. The defendant did press this button to murder the victim. It would seem that way. That's it. Justice will prevail. Oh, what's she coming up with? You bitch! She still has an objection? Perhaps. The gun was not attached when the defendant pressed the button. What? We can't be certain when fingerprints were left, only that they were left. Your Honor, what purpose would the defendant have in pressing this button? Other than to fire this gun? I can't think of anything. But what if the defendant was set up? The defense is proposing the impossible. Gardner was the only one at the scene. Indeed. Objection overruled. I believe this trial has gone on for long enough. Yes, this is it. Bitch! I believe our defendant has something to say. They're still trying to worm their way out of this? Yeah, I definitely saw someone else at the scene of the crime. What? But we proved that your tripod was set up to remotely fire a gun. Ha, consider this. Someone used the tripod to fire their gun. Use my tripod to fire their gun. Ah. What? But the button that activates this device was found on your keyring, and you had it with you at 2 a.m. You said it was always there. Yeah. What if the killer just planted the button on me? That's an objection! That's an objection! You would have to steal the keys and then place it back in your pocket. You would have noticed something like that. Yet, you haven't testified to anything of the sort. That's because it would incriminate him for a crime he didn't commit. The defendant chose not to testify to this fact. What? Exercising his right to remain silent. This game world is full of people like, I don't want to get in trouble for doing this tiny thing, so I'll be accused of murder. Tee-hee. Like, bitch! Soap opera twist. This sounds mysterious, yet it's not impossible. Objection overruled. No, Gardner is definitely lying. All right. Then witness, please testify about this new information. I wish to cross-examine this testimony, Your Honor. Permission granted. Let's begin. He almost imprisoned you for life. Ooh. I didn't see anyone when the shots went off. However, before I left the office, I saw someone next to the victim. Yeah, they totally ran away after I spotted them. As for that button, I lost my keyring when I left my car. I must have dropped it. The killer must have put this button on there to frame me. Put this button on there to frame him, but it has his fingerprints. It has his fucking fingerprints. Yeah, how'd I do? There's all sorts of holes in that testimony. Mr. Gardner, the keys were found on your person. Yeah, so what? How did you acquire them when the police arrived? The answer is obvious, isn't it? Yeah, it's obvious. I found the keys on the ground when I returned to my car. As he begins to panic, his lies keep piling up. Did you find it strange that a mysterious button was on your keyring? Nope. So you didn't even notice it was there? Yeah, I mean, no. Get your facts straight. Watch it cross. Yes, Mr. Cross, watch it. I noticed the button was on there, but I swear I didn't touch it. Something wrong with that last statement, Prosecutor Cross? Yes! Yes! Indeed there is, Your Honor. That's because it contracts this piece of evidence. Yes! You bitch! I believe the defendant has forgotten something we just discussed. It does contract that. Contradicts, I think that's what, yeah. There's some typos, it's okay. It's a first game, whatever. It is your first, no, is this your first game? Just moments ago, we received an analysis from the police department that proves your fingerprints were on this button. Second scene, cool. As the court can see, you press this button. Then there's no excuse for the typos. I can only think of one reason why the defendant would press it. He intended to fire the gun attached to the tripod. Order, settle down. I believe we discussed this issue already. The defendant is clearly lying. I think Mr. Gardner needs to revise his testimony. Everything should become clear in a second. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. I pressed the button out of curiosity after I found it. Sorry about that. I didn't know any better. Yeah. Very well. Objection sustained. How many times is he going to correct his statement? Please proceed with the cross-examination. I didn't see anyone when the shots went off. However, before I left the office, I saw someone next to the victim. I spotted it. As for that button, just dropped it. They're gonna frame me. I pressed the button out of curiosity after I found it. Sorry about that. I didn't know any better. Yeah. This has got to be it. I think it's this one. Something of the button interacting with the tripod. But the tripod itself isn't the issue here. I should assume the pistol was always attached and that Gardner caused it to fire. How would that change the evidence we have? It's the gun, right? Okay, I would just pick the wrong item. The witnesses claim to have pressed the button after the shooting occurred. If we assume Ms. Flowers' testimony is accurate. And there were 2 shots fired at 2 a.m. I see. I'm a bit lost. Mr. Gardner testified that he pressed the button after the crime happened. Yet pressing this button would have resulted in a gunshot. There's a clear contradiction. Because there were only 2 shots fired from this gun. Wait, I see. There was no third gunshot. He had to have pressed that button at the time of the crime. The defendant is pregnant. That's a clear contraction. Ah, I'm done for! Objection sustained. This is decisive, irrefutable evidence. I can see no way that the defendant is innocent of this crime. Yes, I did it. Let us prepare to pass judgment on Mr. Gardner. Flocking, I swear to God. If you weren't hot... The prosecution had just proved their own demise. What? You just stated that when Gardner pressed this button, it would fire the gun. That's right. So we had to... But, didn't you show the court earlier? Oh, right. That when the device fell over, the gun was detached? But... Therefore, when Gardner pressed the button out of curiosity, it wouldn't have fired the gun. I should spell you. No, it's a recoil! This possibility does exist. I see, so there are only 2 shots because by the time he pressed the button, the device was already in pieces. Correct, Your Honor. I can't prove the theory wrong. They could just claim that the true killer was wearing gloves. And that Gardner just pressed the button after the shooting. Think, what should I do? I hate to say it, but so long as the possibility exists, we cannot call a verdict. I think we'll ask both of you to investigate further on this matter. What? No, we can't let him get away. Time's up, Cross. But you put up a good fight. Very commendable. I'm flocking. This isn't over. You forget who calls the shots. It's not my decision. Your Honor. That's quite enough. I can't give up. If I wait to investigate, it'll give him more time to fabricate lies. Not to mention, Nail's assistant is still assailant is still out there. If I fail to put him behind bars now, there could be serious consequences. What if I'm poisoned next? Wait, please, just one moment. I grow tired of interruptions from the prosecution. This is where you and I are alike, Cross. What do you mean? We're both here, doing our jobs. Because we believe in something. You're wrong. There's no question. The facts don't lie. How could there be different opinions when I have the proof right here? You haven't proved a thing, Conrad. You've just been playing up to the court with a spectacle of surprise. Funny how things just lined up for you. You can make any new discovery appear to be in your favor. With the right set of words. That's what you've been doing, right? Aquarian. Face the truth, Cross. A human being's life is at stake. Am I really doing the right thing? No, not now. I can't give up now. No. Are they looking down at me? I'm a nobody. I can't accuse someone of murder. What if I'm wrong? What if I've been drawing the wrong conclusions? Is the prosecution able to continue? Flocking, why? Why are you doing this? I can't give up. I can't give up. Nail, how would he want me to continue? I got this far. I can't quit now. Come on, keep fighting. Flocking is wrong. Players have no conscience. The guilty will be punished. Your Honor, I wish you... Sir, urgent message, sir. Bailiff, what's the message? An important piece of testimony. Testimony? Miss Flowers wishes to speak on something she's just remembered. I assume this is important. Very well, please bring her to the stand. Yes, sir. Matt. Well, Miss Flowers, what did you remember? I just remember something about Mr. Gardner's visit. It didn't seem important at the time, but listening to this argument, it could prove Mr. Gardner's guilt. Tell us immediately. I actually don't know. I don't think so. What did you remember about Gardner's visit to your office? This was after the crime had taken place. On his way out, after I called the police, Mr. Gardner dropped something on the floor. Yes, I'm sure of it. He snatched it up real quick. And what was it he dropped? I think it was his keys. I don't see how this proves the defendant's guilt at all. That's right, Your Honor. Something's not adding up. Flocking looks nervous. I mean, yeah. Gardner's last testimony completely changed. My logic up to this point has been sound. If we assume everything else is correct, there's just one thing that doesn't fit. Would the court please recall Gardner's earlier testimony? Yes, I believe he claimed someone planted the button on his keyring. Correct. We had just spent a long time arguing over this matter. However, this new testimony will put any doubts to rest. If Miss Flowers witnessed Gardner dropping his keys, that means he never left them behind. Ah, that's right! If he had them with him the whole time, no one could have modified this button. The defendant has been committing perjury in this court. This can't be. I think I've heard enough. Counselors, your verdicts, please. Yes, come on. With pleasure. Guilty. A very solid case, Mr. Cross. I think you have a bright future ahead of you. Guilty. Settles it then. We already know the decision. However, I too am very impressed with the prosecution's work today. I think Mr. Cross deserves to see my vote as well. Guilty. Get fucked, Gardner. The defendant is guilty of all charges. I did it. I can't believe it. Any last words, Flocking? My place, 7 o'clock. Well played, Cross. Tell Nail his work is superb as always. If it wasn't for Nail, I wouldn't have stood a chance. Right then, that is all. Bailiff, please escort the defendant to the holding cell. Court adjourned. Nice. Well, Cross, you fought hard. No hard feelings. Of course. We're only here to do our job. Now you're starting to see clearly. But maybe you did your job a little too well. What do you mean? You defended a guilty man to the bitter end. Did you know of his crime, or did you believe he was innocent? It seems you still have much to learn, Cross. That's the whole way that the system works. Whether or not they believe they're guilty or not, they're still supposed to provide an adequate defense. But we should all be fighting for the truth. We should all fight for justice. Phoenix! Justice? Don't use that word lightly. Everyone deserves a proper defense, Cross. Whether they're guilty or not matters little to me. I just want to be able to say I did my job to the best of my ability. So, it's a defense attorney's job to defend the guilty? Sometimes that is the case. Even worse is we get blamed for it. Yeah, look at it. And what are you doing, Remy? You're blaming her. Why am I a sub? You should sub to me. But in due time, you'll grow and understand. For now, however, enjoy the celebrations. Good luck with your endeavors. Oh, one last thing. Seeing you behind the prosecutor's bench, maybe I'll hot him. You completely changed from when I saw you yesterday. Is that so? I could tell this must be taking a toll on you. Nail would have wanted me to be strong in court. Italian. 100% Italian. I only did what I had to in order to ensure justice was dealt. That's the defining quality of a prosecutor. Nail really would be proud. He's become a man. At any rate, it's not my job to defend. Nail trained me to put criminals behind bars. And that's what I'm going to keep doing for as long as I can. Cross, hello? Miss Flowers? You did wonderful out there. Well, I couldn't have done it without that last testimony. It was nothing. I only wanted to see Mr. Yard's killer brought to justice. Wait, did she fucking lie? You almost gave up a few times. That's right. Sometimes it seemed impossible to continue. But you powered through, and for that, we now know the true culprit. As long as I don't give up. As long as I keep on fighting, even at the worst of times. I still have a chance, wait. Unless she get it! Let's see if you go get something to eat. That sounds nice. I could use a break right about now. Wait, I forgot! I'm still missing something important. I can't go anywhere until I find it. Hold on a minute. You're missing something? I think I might have what you're looking for. Oh, her ID card. Ha! Never mind, Is this your ID card? Oh, that's it! I can't believe you found it! Yeah, I can't believe it either. Wait, so if he and Flowers are a thing, then when I made about him and Flocking, oh no! Flocking's a homewrecker! Now we can go eat. Dinner's on me. Actually, it's closer to lunchtime. Lunch? But that means I'm going to be late! If anything, Miss Flowers, it means you'll be early. Aww. Complete chapter 1, free parking. I was so relieved that the case was over. This is the moment that motivated me to become who I am today. I thought I would be pursuing criminals for my entire life. But in the grand scheme of a lifetime, nothing goes to plan.